Hola estudiantes de segundo grado y bienvenidos a nuestra lección de lectura día 41. Nuestro objetivo de aprendizaje es: puedo usar imágenes para ayudarme a determinar lo que aprendí. Repite conmigo. Puedo usar imágenes para ayudarme a determinar lo que aprendí. Hoy leerás los textos South Africa Pavement Bookworm Wants Everyone to Read y Bookmobiles Help Kids Around the World to Love Books. También determinará lo que aprenderá mirando a los títulos, citas e imágenes. Necesitarás Literacy Handouts Days 41 through 49, el diario Lesson 1 Notice and Wonder Note Catcher, el botón de pausa y un lápiz. Lee sobre esto. Vamos a leer y discutir los artículos Pavement Bookworm Wants Everyone to Read y Bookmobiles Help Kids Around the World to Love Books. South Africa's Pavement Bookworm Wants Everyone to Read, escrito por Mira Doleja. Most homeless resort to panhandling to make ends meet. However, an enterprising young South African man has come up with an interesting alternative. He spends his days spreading the joy of reading and selling books written by his favorite authors. Meet Fulani Dladla, aka Pavement Bookworm. While details of how the 24-year-old was rendered homeless and how long he has been selling books on the streets of Johannesburg are a little sketchy, the young man garnered the world's attention recently thanks to an interview conducted by South African director and cinematographer Tebogo Malope. In the two-part mini-documentary entitled Pavement Bookworm, the infectiously cheerful Dladla talks about his passion for books and how reading helped steer him away from a life of drugs. The well-spoken youngster also talks about his favorite authors and clearly articulates what makes him a fan of each one of them. Not surprisingly, after Malope uploaded the Pavement Bookworm video on YouTube, the Dladla has become a celebrity. In addition to being interviewed by other journalists, he has also received several job offers and even a visit from Stephen Boyke Sidley, the author of Entanglement, who hand-delivered his latest book to the voracious reader. The best part is that this newly found fame has resulted in a business boom. Locals now go out of their way to seek Dladla for impromptu book discussions and to buy his recommendations. What's heartwarming is that despite being barely able to make ends meet, Dladla does not accept money from children that are interested in getting a book from him. In order to keep up with the increased demand, Malope is collecting book donations on behalf of the cheerful young man whose mission in life is to spread his passion for reading. ¿De quién se trata este artículo? ¿Dónde se lleva a cabo este artículo? ¿De qué se trata este artículo? Bookmobiles Help Kids Around the World to Love Books, escrito por Al Jazeera. A bookmobile is a traveling library. A new kind is bringing books to kids around the world. They are buses in Lagos and shipping containers in the Netherlands. Donkeys are even carrying books in Colombia. These libraries go from place to place. They go to distant areas that are hard to get to. Bringing books to kids. I Read Mobile Library, Nigeria. Funmi Alari is an education expert in Nigeria. She wants to bring books to children across her country in Africa. Alari created the I Read Mobile Library. It is Nigeria's first bookmobile. She began by visiting houses with 2 baskets full of books. Now, I Read has 4 buses. Libraries are one of the most important places, she said. Each child who visits I Read can choose a book. Children also get a library bag and a notebook. In it, they can write down their ideas. The Donkey Library, Biblioburro, Colombia. Luis Soriano began Biblioburro. It is a donkey-powered bookmobile. It travels around northern Colombia, a country in South America. Biblioburro takes its name from two Spanish words. The first is biblioteca, which means library. The second is burro, which means donkey. Soriano is a teacher. Many of his students were not doing well in school and their families did not have many books. So one day I decided to visit them with books, he said. At first, he carried the books in his arms, but it was too far. That's when he decided to go by donkey. Each donkey can carry up to 150 books in saddlebags. Education and escapism. Mobile Library, Syria. Last summer, Syrian children saw a brightly colored van. It was full of books. Syria is a country in the Middle East. War broke out there 7 years ago. 1 in 3 schools is closed, said Save the Children. It is a charity that helps children. Last October, 1.75 million children were out of school. Malek Rafa is with Mobile Library. The bookmobiles help kids get an education, he said. It gives them a future. The reading container, Bibus, the Netherlands. The Bibus looks like a long, narrow container. It opens up to show a treasure room where the books are kept. There is also a reading area and computers. It is in the Netherlands, a country in Europe. There is a reason for the strange design. The streets in the area are very narrow. A rectangular bookmobile wouldn't fit, said Pien Georgenlin. He works for the library for Zandstreek, which runs for the Bibus. Children learn how to read at school and at the library, he said. They learn that reading is not only important, it can also be a lot of fun. ¿De quién se trata este artículo? ¿Dónde se lleva a cabo este artículo? ¿Cuál es el problema en el artículo? Piense sobre esto. Observa las fotos del artículo. Bookmobiles help kids around the world to love books. ¿Qué notas? ¿Qué preguntas tienes? Pausa el video y piense sobre esto. Hable sobre esto. Observa las fotos del artículo Bookmobiles help kids around the world to love books. ¿Qué notas? ¿Qué preguntas tienes? Use los siguientes iniciadores de oraciones. Me doy cuenta de, me pregunto. Pause el video y hable con un familiar o amigo. Piense sobre esto. Lee la frase del texto South Africa's pavement bookworm wants everyone to read. These libraries go from place to place. They go to distant areas that are hard to get to. ¿Qué notas? ¿Qué preguntas tienes? Pausa el video y piense sobre esto. Hable sobre esto. Lee la frase del texto South Africa's pavement bookworm wants everyone to read. These libraries go from place to place. They go to distant areas that are hard to get to. ¿Qué notas? ¿Qué preguntas tienes? Use los siguientes iniciadores de oraciones. Me doy cuenta de, me pregunto. Pause el video y hable con un familiar o amigo. Escribe sobre esto. Usando tu diario del día 41, responda las preguntas en oraciones completas. Comparta sus respuestas con su maestra, un familiar o amigo. Adiós, estudiantes.